Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brother and such a young man already involved in this occultic stuff. The message that he sent to me, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a man who is aged 25 years old, but my story, it happened when I was only 22 years old. So at that time, I was working at this other taxi rank. I was sort of like an unofficial taxi rank marshal, and I used to operate at 4th. That is where I was working at. So at that time, then the police started to give us a lot of problems. And then my friend said to me, I have been in communication with this other traditional healer who stays at Matapi. So we then went to that traditional healer's house. When we got there, I found out that this man, even though he had stayed in Zim for all of his life, but he was from Malawi because of the way that he speaks broken Shona. And that man, he said, it is fine, you can call me Apiri. So Apiri then gave us some charms. So these charms that Apiri gave us is to make sure that when we are at work, the police will not disturb us. The police, they will just feel really lazy when they want to arrest us. Even when we were on the road, he said that no police is going to stop you at the roadblock. So we then took the charms that he gave to us. Most of these charms, we would keep it in this other old broken taxi that we had, and whenever we would be at work, we would regularly go to that taxi and take some of that oil, then just rub it on our foreheads. It then happened that the money that we were making, it was a lot of money, but the way that we were wasting this money, we could not even understand what was going on. We returned back to Matapi and we spoke with Apiri, and we told him that yes, we can see that the charms that you gave us, they are truly working, and the police, they are no longer coming after us and demanding a bribe. Then Apiri said that he wanted to give us a snake. I was going to be given my own snake and my friend was going to be given his own snake. I got so scared and I said, I do not want to do this. But Apiri said, since we had already started this process, we needed to continue with this process, and we should do it as quickly as possible, because he said, as you can see, I am old. God cursed me, and it said that I cannot have any kids. So I want to give you these things before I die. Otherwise, if I die before I have assisted you, then you are going to have a lot of problems. Once the oil that I gave you is going to run out, then you are going to face so much bad luck in your life like you have never faced before. And they said that you can even be arrested for no reason at all because of the bad luck that you will be having. So Apiri convinced us, because when I said, how about you return back to Malawi, because this man, he told us that he used to have a lot of powers whereby he could travel to Malawi, just flying to Malawi to go and collect these charms of his. But he said that each and every time that he would be flying to Malawi, this made him to become weaker and weaker by the day. So he had planned the final trip whereby he was going to return to Malawi for good and never to return back to Zim, and he was going to carry most of his charms. So he said, if you let me return to Malawi, then I don't know who else is going to assist you once the oil that I have given you is going to fade away. He even told us that there was one pastor who was very famous in our country for selling this miracle oil, and this pastor had once came to him and he had managed to buy a lot of this oil. He said that the oil that he bought can even fill up a Jojo tank. And this man, he convinced us, and we ended up agreeing. So he gave me a small matchbox, and when I opened that matchbox, I only saw that there was one stick of matches, and I said, what is this? He said, that is your snake. I laughed at him and I said, old man, I know that this is not a snake that I am looking at, but this is a matchstick. He said that the snake, it will regularly transform itself into a matchstick so that people won't even see that I am carrying around a snake each and every place where I go to, because this snake, it is going to be my companion for life. So I then accepted that snake as well as my friend. We were told that we were supposed to go and we were supposed to sleep with some prostitutes, and we were going to risk it sleeping with a prostitute without using any protection at all. And after sleeping with that prostitute, we had to come back to him for the final rituals. So out we went on our way. We then went through the avenues, and I spoke with one woman who said that even though I had told her that I wanted to sleep with her without using any protection, she just wanted to give me a disclaimer that she was taking some ARVs. I said, it does not matter. With this, your beauty, it is far much better that I die. But I knew that I was actually using her for some rituals. After I had slept with her, that was when she wanted to wipe my private parts, and I refused. I said, no, please do not wipe me. And she said, okay. Then I left her room, and my friend, I waited for him. It took a little bit longer, and when he came out, I asked him if he had been wiped by his prostitute, and he said no. We quickly drove back to Matapi, and we met that traditional healers of ours. He then said, strip yourselves naked. Then that man took some leaves and he started to wipe my private parts using those leaves. And after that, he took some herbs which he mixed in a clay pot with water. It was warm water. Then he started to wash my private parts. And after that, he made me to drink that dirty water. He did the same to my friend. And from there on, he told us that we were never going to see him again because he had bathed me. He then did the same thing to my friend. And he told us that this was the last time that we were ever going to see him, for he had already packed all of his stuff. As he was speaking with us, he then dropped that clay pot to the ground, and he said, you need to pick up the pieces and go and throw them at a place where there is a crossroad. And that was what we did. So after a couple of days, we did not see any change. We kept on losing money. We then returned back to Matapi looking for that old man, but people just told us that one day this man, he woke up and he was not there. His room, it was opened, and when they went in there, they saw that the beds, the wardrobes, everything was gone. So they could not even understand how such an old man had managed to take all of his belongings at night, and no one even saw him taking his belongings. But we knew that this man, what he had told us was the truth. He had flew back to Malawi. After this man had returned back to Malawi, we kept on following his instructions, because he said that I need you to keep on hustling so that when you become rich, people will just say that, you see, these are the results of you being a hard worker. So we kept on hustling and being the unofficial taxi marshals and loading people into different taxis. So when we would pretend as if we were resting, me and my friend, we would go and buy 2 eggs, one for me and one for my friend. So we would go into this other old car where we would just go in there and sit. I'll be at the back seat, my friend at the front seat. We would take our matchbox and remove the sticks. Once we would place those sticks on the car seat, then they would transform themselves and become snakes. So these snakes, they would feed on the eggs, and after that they would transform them back, and then they would transform themselves and they will become like your matchsticks again, and we'll put them back into our pockets. That was when one morning when I woke up, I saw that there was a huge pile of money that was right next to me. I woke up and I screamed. I took my phone, and when I took my phone, that was when I saw some messages and some voice notes, a lot of them from my best friend. He was telling me that he was on his way to go and buy a car, and after buying that car, he was going to come and pick me up. And I told him to wait for me by the garage. I took the money and I went to the place where he was at. No questions were asked. Me and my friend, we bought our vehicles, and the first vehicles that we bought, they were your Honda Fit. I selected a blue one, my friend selected a white one. Then we went straight to the place where we used to hustle, and now we were no longer your rank marshals, but we were now having our private taxis. We kept on working, but what people did not know was that there was some money that we were getting, this money that was just coming out of nowhere, until me and my friend, we decided to go into the trucking business. I have my trucks that go to South Africa with coal that is in demand. When my trucks come back, they will be pulling some grain as well as taking that grain as far as Zambia. That is how we got so wealthy. As for Apiri, we have tried to be in communication with him spiritually, but he does not respond to our cries. All that we wanted to ask from him is, what are we supposed to do, Apiri, since these snakes, they keep on getting longer by the day? What will happen if these snakes one day, when they are maybe 30-meter long, what must we do when it happens? So he did not give us any clear instructions. So we keep on asking ourselves, did we do anything wrong? But we were following his instructions. We worked really hard, and when we saw that we had made so much money, we stopped hustling. Now we are just sitting and enjoying the money, but we do not know what is going to happen to me and my friend. We do not know what is going to happen next. So each and every day we pray for his return. We pray for Apiri to return back to us. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear brother. Such a young man is waiting for Apiri to return back to him. But what if Apiri is dead? Then what? The snake keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger by the day. Strange things do happen in this world.